Welcome, namaste. My name is Natalie Sari. I'm a kinesiologist and yoga teacher here to share the benefits of yoga with our wonderful series of Yoga for Every Day. Today's episode will focus on the cervical spine. We'll start from the very top of the spine and work our way down over the next few episodes. Modern day technology is amazing. We have many benefits from this, but there's also a lot of problems that we are facing within our bodies from things like mobile devices, computers, and other electronical things, games. These types of devices generally draw us in and draw us forward. Think of how much time you spend either at a desk, a computer desk, TV, or on your phone or a device. Think of how many hours you're in some of these positions. And the problem is usually when we're in these positions, doing these things on these devices, we're not thinking about our position. So please close your eyes for a moment. Take a big breath in. Exhale, relax. And with your eyes closed, notice the position you're in right now. Is your head darted forward slightly? Are your shoulders rounding forward? Is your spine rounding forward? These are very common postural misalignments, and they're things that are not developed in one day, they're developed over time. So think of how old you are today. That's how long it's taken to develop whatever shape you're in now, and your whole body in general. We're a product of experience and time. The average human head weighs 10 to 11 pounds or 4.5, 5 kilos. It's pretty heavy. So our cervical spine, the neck, has to hold it up all day long. The positions that we're in that draw the head forward, if it's slightly protruded forward, even if it's just half an inch, will create an imbalance of the front and the back, the anterior posterior muscles of the neck. These prolonged positions will lengthen one side and shorten the other side, and that can create all kinds of other issues, pain being an obvious one, tension, and sometimes even causing radiculopathy or impingement, where the nerves from the neck that feed into, for example, your arms become impinged and develop issues there. Issues in the tissues, and sometimes even numbness and tingling can be a symptom. As we look closer at this portion of our body, the cervical spine, it's important to understand a little bit of the structure and form, the anatomy and physiology of this part of the body so you can have a better understanding. There are 7 vertebral bodies or bones. And the neck, the actual vertebral bones themselves look different if you dissect each, but we'll keep it simple for today. The upper 2 vertebrae, the number 1 and 2, have a lot of movement and rotation, so the head can move well at these places. And then the lower 3 vertebrae of the cervical spine, so 5, 6, and 7, create a lot of flexion and extension. And of course, there's movement in the other middle bones too, but just so you can have an idea of what's happening in these bones. Most acute pain can be healed within a matter of days or weeks simply by resting, maybe some gentle stretching, heat, ice, and sometimes even a little bit of medication. For people suffering from neck pain lasting for more than a few weeks, that is starting to cause limitations in function, then there's generally an anatomical problem. It could be an impingement to a nerve, an issue to the bone, or significant strain or issues to the tissues, the muscles, tendons, and ligaments. Today we will focus on general neck pain, neck discomfort, and looking at how basic yoga tools can be applied to help alleviate some of that pain and tension and perhaps create greater mobility and freedom within the neck. First, we'll break down the anatomy of bad posture. Generally, when a person is at a computer desk, the head will be protruded forward. So the posterior muscles, the muscles of the back of the neck, will be elongated and stretched out, and the front ones will have to contract to hold the head, and they're also shortening. As well as the shoulders, they'll start to come forward, so the back body is becoming overstretched and the front being shortened. So this being overstretching of the posterior muscles, the rhomboids, even a bit of the lats, some of the rotator cuff muscles, and then in the front, the pectoralis major and minor, your scalenes, all of these become overengaged and tight, shortened. This obviously affects the other muscles down the back, but we'll talk about that another time. So little adjustments, learning how to adjust things like sliding the head back so that the head is sitting back on top of the spine, so there's very little pressure front to back as gravity works against the head. Shoulders, once this becomes an issue and the pectoralis and the anterior delts are shortened, it takes a while to correct this, but you can do it. With stretching and different release mechanisms, we can work on lengthening these muscles so that the arm sits alongside the body a little bit nicer, along with strengthening of the posterior side so that you can sit up, right? So before we dive into any physical practice, one of the most important elements of yoga is to tune in, mindfulness, paying attention. And the easiest way to do that is by taking a big breath in. Close your eyes, inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth, and soften your body. Lengthen the breath without trying to change it in any way. A natural, smooth, easy breath. As our focus is the cervical spine region today, notice as the breath enters through the nostrils and travels down along that passage to make its way to the lungs. The heart and lungs, of course, speak to each other and need each other, two of our most vital organs. A few moments to witness this movement in and out of the body. Good. And then begin to make your breath a touch louder, listening to the sound of your own breath. So you could even create a tiny tuck of the chin. It almost sounds like Darth Vader. So a bit of a deepened breath. Continue a few rounds like that. A very subtle constriction to the throat. This is a really powerful breathing practice as well. I'd like you to pay attention to your sense of sound. And as you pay attention to your breath, you'll also notice the sound has a vibration. Just like my voice has a vibration coming from the voice box, which also is housed in this very precious area. It's said in the yoga practice that one of the areas, the throat chakra, is right here. And if this area becomes blocked on an energetic level, it can be difficult to speak up or speak our true feelings, to express ourselves. So with this practice, although today we're going to create space and length and release tension, this may also help to enhance these throat or communication qualities that you possess. One breathing practice in particular that's really fantastic is called the Brahmari breath, also known as the bumblebee breath. So what I'd like you to do first is take your hands and create a small cup with your hands, and you'll place them over your ears. So what this will do, it'll block out any external sound, but you'll also be able to really hone in not only of the sound of your voice, but the vibrations that come in and out. The sound that we'll make with the breath is similar to the sound Om, which is often chanted in yoga. So what you'll do is make that sound, but as a humming sound. So like this. Big breath in. Repeat that once more. And feel the vibrations as they move through your chest, through your throat, even in your face, your ears, and it penetrates to different parts of the body. It's very stimulating for this area. That type of practice can also help to calm the nervous system, and it's just really wonderful for clarity, to reset and create space. So this is something you could, do this a few times if you need a little time out, if you're at your desk, right before bed, right in the morning. Really, there's any time is a good time. And listening to the sound that you create with your own voice. We'll now move into some of the asana, which is the yoga practice or the yoga postures. So please take a comfortable seat. I'm sitting on a bolster, which is a specific pillow for yoga. You could sit on a block or be sitting in a chair. And I'd like you to, of course, bring your awareness to your postural alignment. So first, we'll start right at the top where the head and the neck is. So think of if somebody had their hand on the top of your head, lifting your head up to that, creating space and length, space between the vertebrae. And then notice if your head is slightly forward. See if you can subtly slide the chin back. And as if somebody had their hands on the back of your neck, lightly lifting up, hooking the base of the skull so that the back of the neck is elongated as well. So it's a slight retraction and elongation, and you'll feel that space created in the neck. Take a big breath here, and as you exhale, let it go and soften. So everything relaxes, and you might even go into a tiny slouch. Again, inhale, draw the chin in, lengthen. You might even notice the chest rising too, and as you exhale, soften completely. One more, a slight slide back of the chin and an elongation of the posterior, the back of the neck. Exhale, let it go. Here we're lengthening the trapezius muscles, which attach along the skull and fan all the way down the back, and they are culprits for being really, really tight and holding tension from things like computer work. Next, bring your attention down those muscles towards the shoulder. So still same region, lift the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale, drop them down. And actually drop them, let them go. Again, inhale, rise up. And perhaps this time roll them back a little. Exhale, let it go. You can even drop your hands towards the floor. Inhale, lift up, roll back. Exhale, let it go. Good. Now notice the length you've created there. Keep your hands down, either on the chair, on the floor. Moving more to the sides of the neck. So rather than just stretching to the side, let your head fall to the side. So there's no force. Let the head hang naturally. Walk your right hand out a few centimeters. Then notice if you were to lift your chin subtly You're now getting into the scalenes, the front of the neck here. Take a big breath in. Exhale, draw the chin down and tuck it now down towards your chest. Lengthening lengthening the trapezius muscles from the base of the skull, fanning all the way down your back. Inhale, rise back up. Allow the head to fall to the other side. Walk the fingers out. Take a big breath in. Subtle lift of the chin. Exhale. Slowly release. Notice if the right side or the left side is tighter. Notice the difference between sides. Good. Inhale to rise back up. Find the length. Neutral, head sitting right on top. Good. Again, let the head fall to the side. And then this time we'll use our hands for a little bit of help. So keeping the right hand down, left arm reaches up, supporting the back of the head as if you're cradling your head, base of the skull, gently supporting your head and perhaps even drawing your chin back so you're slightly leaning your head into your own hand. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, gently tuck the chin, but keep that side bend. Now we're stretching again trapezius, but a bit of what's called the levator scapula muscles, which elevate the scapula. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale now, twist your head to look towards your armpit. So there's rotation happening now. Levator, slat, all the way down. Slowly release your head. You can let it fall to center if that feels nice. Inhale, rise back up, repeating on the other side. Let your head fall to the side without any force. Use your opposite hand to support the head, cradle the skull. Gently draw your head in towards your hand. Slowly tuck your chin down towards the clavicle, the collarbone. Take a big breath here. Exhale, rotate the head, nose towards your armpit. Inhale. Exhale, release the head down. As you release your head this time, move it gently side to side. Notice what you feel. As you inhale, slowly lift yourself back up. Exhale. Moving your arms as well now. From here, we'll lean the weight a little bit more into the arms, a side bend. So the left hand reaches out to the side, reaching your right arm up, looking up towards your hand. Exhale, lower it down. So letting your head move with this movement. A little lift, and then a little tuck of the chin as you return back. And every time you rise up, there is engagement of the muscles to do the motion. But as you release, consciously working on letting go, let the muscles relax. Because often what happens if you have, especially chronic neck pain and tension, is the muscles will fire and hold tension when they don't really need to. So we need to retrain them to let go. From here, we'll move into rotation, twisting of the neck. So start sitting tall, take a big breath. Exhale, look over your right shoulder and simply notice how much range you have without forcing it. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale all the way around to the other side. And often from day to day, you'll notice one side is tighter than the other, and this can change. You might have one side that's generally tighter than the other. But what's really nice is just simply to notice. to notice what's going on in our bodies without any expectation or judgment, accepting what is so that you can work with it. Let's add some movement through the rest of the body. Turning around to the side, you can take your opposite hand to your leg, twisting all the way around, look around. Bring yourself all the way around to the other side, looking back. Good, one more, maybe taking your arms out, all the way around to the side. Inhale, center. Exhale, all the way around, left side. Good, inhale, come all the way back. Release your arms. We'll now move to the floor. Coming onto your back. And take a moment, relax your upper body. You might find that you need to adjust, whether that be a subtle tuck of the chin. Notice your neck, notice the shoulders, perhaps tucking the shoulder blades down your back so that the shoulders draw down away from the ears. And then your arms can relax out by your side. The feet will stay on the floor for now. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, gently tuck your chin and draw it in towards center. Now notice if these superficial muscles start to fire. The sternocleidomastoid, this big guy, the scalenes, these muscles tend to overfire and can be overworked. So let's retrain them to relax a little and work the deeper muscles of the neck. It's like the core of the neck, the deep neck flexors. So if you were to so subtly draw your chin down and in without feeling any muscle contraction here, well, something has to be contracting to do the movement. And therefore, it's those deeper neck flexors. This is a wonderful rehabilitation tool when these muscles begin to misfire or just quit firing altogether, and then the superficial ones tend to overwork. So what you can do to check in is just practice a few times. Subtle tuck of the chin, keeping these superficial muscles relaxed, and notice what you notice. One more. Good, then relax, arms back down by your side. Big breath in. Exhale. And perhaps even taking another Brahmari breath, the bumblebee breath. An inhale. You can really feel the vibration through your chest and even your back when you're laying on your back. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, turn your head to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, over to the left. Good. Back through center. Do that a few more times, and you might even notice your arms reaching them a little bit further away as you reach down. Last one. Come back to center. Good. Relax the head and neck. Bring your attention to your feet and your legs, moving into bridge pose. So you'll use the strength of your legs to lift up. You can also turn your palms down and use a little bit of support of your arms, but try not to push with your arms. Try to keep them relaxed. Pressing into the feet slowly, lift the hips. Pause there. You may feel a little bit of pressure into the neck, but this should be subtle and almost like a really nice stretch. Slowly come down. Maybe even moving with your own breath. So it could be an inhale to rise up, Exhale to lower down. Good. From here, draw your feet and knees together to touch. Slide your arms out to the side. Let your legs fall to the right, then turning your head to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, other side. And then you could even have your arms a bit higher if you like. You could create some space and open them up a bit higher. As you push the legs in one direction, you reach your opposite arm in the other direction. So then you're creating loads of rotation, not only through the neck, but through the entire spine and even your arm and fingertips. Come back to center. Draw your knees in towards your chest. You can take one at a time, and you don't have to hug them in together or super close. Just go to where it feels comfortable. Maybe even take them wider. Start to draw them in. Now, if it feels okay, this all depends on how your neck is feeling and what's going on within you. But perhaps see how it feels to tuck your chin and lift it off. It's a bit of work. And then bring it back down. Sometimes it's nice to do that just once or twice. Give it a little side to side movement again. And also nice to do through the mid and lower back by moving side to side or circles. Good. Release your legs, rolling to the side. Use your arm as a pillow to support your head. And then use your other arm to again support you and lift you up. Walk yourself back. If you have a wall behind you, you could sit right up against the wall for a moment. Or sitting comfortably in your seat. At this phase, your body is a little bit more relaxed from when you started. So you might feel the weight of the shoulders come down. If you have a beanbag pillow, this is a nice place for this too, to rest it over the neck and the shoulders. If you don't have one, imagine that you do, that your shoulders draw down away from your ears. Notice the space you've created in the neck, the throat. Take a big breath in, watch the air travel through this channel into the lungs. And exhale back out. As you complete your practice, join your hands together and take a moment to honor yourself for taking the time for you, a time out to be mindful, to learn a little bit about your body, to get to know yourself better, to relax. I hope you enjoyed today's session, focused on the cervical spine and the throat. These practices are meant to be very informative so that you can learn and grow within yourself through the wonderful benefits of yoga. Stay tuned for future episodes. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.